Look at this building. Look at the statues. Look at the trees. Look at the cars.
Yeah.
Look at the flag. Okay, we're live. Hi everybody. It's Jennifer McCreath. November 4th, 2000. What year is it?
15. We just came back from Truro Pride.
We came back from 1875. These, wow. We're standing in front of the Province House in the town in which, amazingly enough, I was born many, many years ago. Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada.
What was that, in 1888?
1873 I was born. Plus or minus 100 if your math is good.
So it was 1773, got you.
This is a historic moment for me. I'm a trans person and a trans activist, and this is now the 4th provincial parliament building I have held a somewhat formalized event, having visited, amazingly enough, St. John's, Newfoundland, Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Fredericton, New Brunswick. Amazingly enough, this is the first time I think I've hosted a trans event in my original hometown, Halifax, Nova Scotia. So why are we here, I guess is a good question. It's freezing cold, it's November. It's going to get dark soon. Well, this building right here is where you got the politicians in there making all these laws and regulations and legislations. And across over here, this building, I believe, is where you have all the civil servants who actually implement the work. See that the shield up there? So little old me living in Newfoundland, I go from Halifax to Toronto, and then I realize I'm trans, so I moved to Newfoundland, which is probably not the best strategy to transition, but it is what it is. And I keep hearing recently, okay, Newfoundland, we're behind the times, we don't have health care, human rights, etc., etc. Trans people, no, you don't want to do that here. Go to one of the main centers like Toronto or Montreal or Halifax. I'm like, no, I'm going to do this here. If you're trans, you should be allowed to live anywhere, including in St. John's. So for years I've been fighting for the rights. Now we go to New Brunswick. Newfoundland has human rights for trans people. Our healthcare programs, we're not quite there yet. We're getting there. Keep hearing Halifax. Oh, Nova Scotia's doing good. They're leaders. They're changing their laws. They're going to give healthcare to trans people. They're going to give you human rights. We're going to allow you to change your IDs and all these great things. Guess what? Every time I open the news, there's a trans person saying, no. They said no. They won't let me do this. Nope, there's discrimination here. Nope, you can't have health care there. So, I guess it's a little confusing, Nova Scotia. You've got one building saying this, the other building there saying no. So I'm here to say, please get your act together and pull up your socks. There are provinces, like New Brunswick specifically. I spent a lot of time there. They're the worst province in terms of how they treat trans people, of course. No human rights, no health care, no ID changing. Nova Scotia, you say you're going to do this, do it. Turn the legislation into policies and procedures so trans people don't have to go to the media every time there's a problem. We're not here to fight, we're here to work with you. But I'm here to say, Nova Scotia, practice what you're preaching, do your job. And there are many trans people, obviously, here. This is a huge city. And on that note, we are here to have this is, I guess, technically a trans flag-waving demo, but how about we turn it over to one of the locals, the infamous and notorious Trina Conrad.
Good evening. How are you?
Not too bad. How about you?
Not too bad. I don't really know what you'd like me to speak on. So I don't know what to really say.
It's a free open floor forum for you as a local trans person.
You know what happens when it becomes an open forum.
How's that name change going? Any comments on that?
Name change has been...
is it easy to do with this building here? Is it expensive?
We don't do it here. You do it out in Burnside. You go to Stats Canada, but first you need to go to the police station and get your fingerprints done, which I think is a silly thing.
That's a lot.
And you got to pay for that out of pocket. So you're looking at about $200 to $300 before you really kind of get the ball rolling.
Now, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, you can walk into one office, pay $25, change your name, and leave. It's that easy.
Right.
Why do you have to get fingerprinted?
My question is why in Newfoundland is it $25?
Yeah.
And in Nova Scotia, it's $167 to change your name, and that's without the fingerprints. That's just to change the name part of it.
How about
Right.
changing your ID without surgery?
Changing your ID without surgery is coming in January.
So it's not here yet.
Looking at it.
Has it been? Is there other paperwork in that building over there, or is this still myth, ideas, concepts?
Right now, the government has said they're looking into it,
Okay.
and so I will not play the government because they are looking into it, and that's what as good as it's going to get.
So if you go over into the civil servant building, they will say we've never heard of this.
Probably not, because the right hand and the left hand in the government never knows what the hell they're doing.
This is where the ideas come from everywhere. This is where they get put in paper, I guess, or computers. I don't know what you do
Probably
here.
computers.
Information
paper.
management.
Well, nowadays, though, it's funny because the government actually.
How about access to
produces-
orchiectomy surgeries locally?
You can't do it locally. You need to go to Montreal.
And wonder why.
Because the government doesn't have enough because they won't pay doctors enough in Nova Scotia to actually stay in Nova Scotia, and they keep moving to Toronto. So they don't have enough orchi doctors to do anything. Endocrinologists, we've gone from 7 4 years ago to 3, and one of those are part-time. So just imagine that, how much more stress there is now in the healthcare system as a general. I am not going to blame the government for a bad policy. I'm going to blame the government for not covering healthcare.
Sure. And guess how many family doctors prescribe hormones in Newfoundland?
Probably 0.
No, not true, actually.
Oh.
Unlike Nova Scotia, where it seems there's one or
No,
2
no,
or 3.
There's a good 2 to 3 dozen now that are doing it.
I'm in Newfoundland. I get my hormones from a family doctor. I do not need to go see endocrinologists for any of that. Nobody should have to do that. Nobody should have to sit on a waiting list for 18 months.
Moncton is 18 months.
Yeah, well, that's Moncton. Well, we're working on New Brunswick. This is Nova Scotia. This is supposed to be this is supposed to be a leader in Canada, isn't it?
No, we're a follower.
I guess that's the question. Are we leaders here in Nova Scotia, or are we followers?
The government, when they came out with the policy in regards
You tell
to
me.
surgery, they specifically said we're not going to lead, we're going to follow.
And that's, to me, that's a shame, because
That is a cop-out. It's what that is.
I'm from here. You're from here. I'm ashamed and embarrassed by comments, and I mean, Newfoundland is ahead of Nova Scotia in some ways, and
In some ways,
Newfoundland's supposedly. You keep hearing that we're old-fashioned, out of date, and well, guess what? Maybe not. Maybe we're doing better than you, Nova Scotia. So why don't we have a little demo here? We gotta have a trans flag raising in this freezing cold weather.
Yeah, I know.
Unlike Truro, Nova Scotia, they do have flag raisings in this town, don't they?
They do have. It's legal.
Yeah.
It's not like Truro, where it's illegal to raise any other flag besides their 1875
flag. So there we go. We got a trans flag in Trina, and we're here.
It's freezing to death.
It's freezing.
Hey, do you want to do one? Yeah. Hey.
Proof that we're actually both here. It's not trick photography. There's several other people here, but they don't want to be on film. It's great.
Yeah, they're all behind the camera scenes.
Thanks for everyone else for coming out here. But, hopefully we've got our point across, and I'm glad to be here at home. I'm glad that there's lots of activism being done locally here. Seems like there needs to be more and more activism done because there's still work to do. So get with it.
All right, let's get the fuck out of Halifax.
It's cold. Let's turn the camera off. Thanks everyone for watching, and y'all have a great day.